How do we fight the enemies in the West? I understand that we have responsibilities to fight the so-called pharaohs of today, but how? Especially taking into consideration sitting at home or being at home or living in the West or being a youth. So taking these things into consideration.
Yeah, very good question. So first of all, once you've recognized who the enemies are, and Jazakallah to anybody, whoever asked that question, once you've recognized the enemies, you have to recognize where the battlefields are. So we have various battlefields. It's not all about the military battlefield. It's not all about swords and guns and violence. No, there is an economic battlefield. There is a ideological battlefield as well. As for the economic battlefield, there's plenty of things that you can do. For example, boycotting Israel, which is something that we are familiar with, boycott these companies and these Taghuti regimes and promote the boycotting of these things. Don't ever buy Israeli products. Now that the month of Ramadan is kicking in, you need to really be careful not to buy any Israeli dates and things like that. So that's financially, and try as much as you can to distance yourself economically from helping those systems in any way. Distance yourself from them. If there's any way that you can pay and help those who are oppressed, do that as well. So that's economically, that's the economic and the financial battlefield. And the ideological battlefield is even greater than that. And I want to share with you an example of a sister. She's Dr. Fawcett. She is an incredible sister in the UK. And what she did is she was a psychologist, and she was studying about how the system is actually implementing all of this LGBT stuff. And some of you may be familiar with our series, The Machinations. You can find it online through Islamic Pulse. And all of that series is based on her research. And this research was basically revealing how in the next few years, the governments of the West, particularly the UK, but it's about the Western governments, generally speaking, are implementing certain laws and policies which are going to push some extremely disturbing things to our young ones, to our kids in schools, teaching them completely sexually immoral things, which I don't need to go into too many details, but you can go and watch the Machination series, but it's got to do with LGBT issues and stuff like that. Before we made the series, I said to her and another brother, the director of Islamic Pulse talked to her as well. And we said to her, look, sister, if you do this, all she was doing, by the way, is research. Bear that in mind. Through her research, she wanted to fight against the Taghut. We said to her, if you do this, we're just warning you, they will oppress you, they will attack you in the media, you will lose your job, and they might even kill you and your family members. We warned her about this before we started the Machination series. And do you know what her reply was? Her reply was, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready, even if they attack me, even if I lose everything, I know that this is the right thing to do. And because of that, I'm going to do it. This, brothers and sisters, respected elders, is what it means to fight back against the enemy. This is what it means to be a Zainabi sister, a Husseini sister, right? And by the way, she got virtually no support from the Shia community and from our so-called Shia scholars, because they're not leaders, as we discussed today. They're not leaders. And exactly what we knew would happen did happen. She lost her job. She was attacked in the mainstream media, and now she's being persecuted in the courts. Are you willing to do that? That's the question. Are you willing to take up that good fight? That's one of the ways. Through your education, you confront openly and fight against the enemy. And as we said, there's many types of jihad, right? And in order to be a mu'min, we said you need to do what? You need to do jihad, right? A person once asked the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, what is the best form of jihad? And the Prophet replied, Kalimatun haqqin inda sultanin ja'ir. It is a word of truth, a word of justice in the face of a tyrant oppressor, in the face of a tyrannical leader. Just like Sayyidah Zainab faced Yazid, you hijabi sisters out there, you daughters of Ali out there, you sons of Fatima out there need to face against the enemy. Okay, and another way to do it is to create awareness. Do you have access to social media? Do you know how much of Allah is going to question you about this? Because the entire world is open to you right now. Just by clicking a button, you can send a message to hundreds of people out there. Are you using this means to spread awareness or not? Or are you just using it to joke with your friends, to laugh? How much time are we wasting out there, brothers? How much time are we just looking at Netflix and cartoons and TikTok, making memes with people? We're just wasting our time. Remember, your time is precious. You are going to be asked on the Day of Judgment. There is a lot that Imam Khamenei has said about the soft war, which is to do with the ideological battle against the enemy. A lot. And you just need to go onto Khamenei.ir and type in soft war on the internet. Go and look at Letter for You. Letter for You. It is a letter that Imam Khamenei sent to the youths, the non-Muslim youths of the West. And he tells them to go and research Islam. If you do not pick up the banner of Islam and confront the enemy of your time, think of, brothers and sisters, I'll end with this. Think about a skill that Allah has given you. Think about something specific to you, because everybody has a specific talent. You just need to find it. What skill and what thing has He given you? It might be intelligence. I mean, you might be bookish. You might be able to memorize things really well. You might be able to pass exams really well. You might have humor. You might have any skills that you have, artistic talents. You might have writing talents. You might be a video editor. Whatever you have, use it to confront the enemy. And guys, I have to say this point. Why is Allah emphasizing so much about these things in the Quran? Why is He telling you to fight against the enemy? Is it because He hates us? Does He want us to suffer? No. He's saying it because He loves you. He wants you to grow. He wants you to reach your full potential. Look at any hero, whether it's fictional or real. No hero can reach their full potential. No good person can reach their full potential until they have an enemy or an obstacle to overcome. And those enemies of yours, you need to confront them in order to grow. Allah says in the Quran, and He promises us, In tansurullahi yansurukum wa yuthabbit aqdamakum. If you help Allah in His mission, He will not only help you, but He will make firm your feet. He will establish you. He will make you grow. He will make you stronger. Answers. And please ask questions. Everybody who's listening, ask as many questions as you want. Imam Ali said, there are 5 things that require your greatest anxiety to acquire them. And 2 of those things are to do with knowledge and asking questions. So keep asking those questions. You will, Allah will reveal more and more to you the more questions you ask, inshallah.